Hi, this is a video walkthrough for the Boca Postcard template. So when you get the link, you'll be directed to this page. Just hit Use Template, and that opens up in your own Canva account. And once you're here, I would highly recommend that you head over to File and then make a copy. And the reason why you're doing that is just in case you take a few left turns or you make a few mistakes and you don't remember what the original looks like, you always have that backup on your home screen in Canva. So make a copy, and then once you've done that, you are ready to upload all of your listing images into Canva. So you just go to Upload an Image or Video and find your listing photos and then upload them, and it will look like this. And then you're ready to just plug and play. So this particular template has a little bit more steps than the regular template. It can or it can't, depending on what you're going to use it for. But if you're going to be using your headshot here, so let me just find a headshot. So for example, so this headshot would be perfect to replace this one because it doesn't have a background. If your photo has a background, you can head over to the tutorial that we have at fourthstreetcreative.com/tutorials, and there you'll find a tutorial that's called, and we'll put the link here as well, but it's called how to remove background from your images, and you can do that online for free, and then you're going to upload that image into Canva, and then when you bring it over, you can just pop it into place. And as you can see, it's adopted all of the characteristics that we've done to the original image. This image has been manipulated, so if you don't want to lose all of the settings that we've put onto this image, the adjustments that we've done, then I would strongly suggest you don't touch this box. You just bring your own headshot over and place it in. And if it's pointing the wrong direction, you can always flip it horizontally and then just move it around however you see fit. But this box here has been altered and adjusted in order to have some transparency and have some of those effects that, that look really great. So that's how you would do that. If you don't want to have any image here, or you don't have an image, you can just simply delete this and then move everything over to be centered and play around with that until you like the look of that. So in order to edit text boxes, you would just make sure that the text box is highlighted and then highlight the text inside. And then you can go ahead and change the font to whatever font you prefer, or this is a really cool thing with this particular font. If you hit bold, it will take away that outline effect if you're not a fan, and it'll just it'll fill it in. So that's actually pretty cool. You can put your own tagline here. Your name can change. Your logo, this is where you would put your own brokerage logo or your own brand logo. But again, we do have a tutorial on how to change these files, the coloring of the files. Because this is a dark colored shape, you might not want to use a black on there. Looks good to me. If you like it, that's fine. But if you want to change it, we do have a tutorial to teach you how to change the color of PNG files online for free as well. So this is where you're going to change your information. If you find your website or email address is a lot longer than this and it's not fitting well, you have a couple options. You can highlight this and then change the sizing of the text itself. I recommend not going any lower than 10. So let's keep it at 12, and I'll show you another way to do this. Here's the spacing tab, and when you click on the spacing tab, you can actually adjust the line height, so the height between the lines, or you can adjust the spacing between each letter. So that's a really neat trick on how to make sure that everything fits without having to change the size of the text itself. All of these are image files, so all the shapes that you see are image files. I would suggest not changing them at all. If you want, you have a full library that was given to you as well, a folder in your zip file that has every single shape that we used across the board for all of our designs. So what you can do is you can just upload those and then change them by dragging them over to the box, and that way it will adopt the same characteristics that we might have done for each shape. So some of these shapes do have transparencies or adjustments, If you do change it, if you do delete the box completely, you'll be deleting those adjustments. So I suggest leaving the boxes in place and just replacing the shapes. If you don't want the shapes, you can always delete the boxes. It's completely up to you. And that's why it was a good idea to make the copy, because if you make any mistakes, you can just go right back to the beginning. So onto the second page, this is where you would put your own property photos, plug and play your own listing photos. So what you can do is just hover over the box and it'll pop your own into place. That one's a little bit low quality. Let me try to find one that actually has a, there we go. So if I wanted this photo, I just hover it into place and it actually just pops into place. So it's really that simple. And here's where you would change your information to just sold. You can use this as an open house card. You can change the tagline. And of course, these icons are optional. So if you don't want them, you can just delete them or change the information to suit your needs. And we've put call today to book a private viewing, but you can put whatever suits you. And of course, this is the legal disclaimer. Make sure to change that to suit your needs as well. And that's it. If you want to change this postcard in any other way, I would suggest being careful, because this particular postcard does have some effects that have been applied to the shapes. So again, with this side, you can see that there's some transparency and effects that have been placed on these shapes. So if you do want to change the color of these shapes, what you would have to do is actually change the shape itself from the image file, or you can head over to effects, and this color mix box is a great tool, see all, and you can change the color like that. But again, you're running the risk of just changing the effects that we've put into place. So I would just keep it the way that we've done it. It's completely up to you. If you want to play around with it to suit your own needs, you can do that. I'm going to hit done for now. And if you want to add more photos, it's just a matter of dragging this box over to wherever you want it. And then I would simply right-click, copy, right-click, paste so that it's the same dimensions. And just bring that over here. Now, as you can see, when you've put the photo over the shapes, you lose the shapes. So you just head over to position, and then I'll just send that to the back so that it goes behind everything. And that way, you could add a second photo, maybe of the front of the house, a walkway. These are low resolution photos, but I'm sure you're going to have nice, beautiful, high-res ones. Something like that. And when you're ready to print, you head over to File and Show Print Bleed. Okay, and what you want to do with this is to make sure that everything reaches, that there's no white space around here, because this dotted line is where the printer will cut. That's the cut line, but printers require some safety beyond that, just in case. So they can be off by 1/4 of an inch sometimes, 1/8 of an inch. So that's why they want you to bleed that image right out to the end. So when they cut, you don't run the risk of having that white border. So just make sure you go to File, Show Print Bleed, and then make sure that your file is completely bleeding right to the edge. Another thing you want to make sure of is that your writing is about 1/4 of an inch from this line. So everything has been placed very carefully to make sure that it will print accurately. And you want to do that for both pages, just in case you might have just done this by accident. Make sure you have some breathing room so that when you send it to your printer, this won't be cut off. Then when you're ready, you go to Download, make sure you select PDF Print, Crop Marks and Bleed if you're going to be using a professional printer. If you're printing this at home, then you can unselect that, but we're going to be assuming that you're using a professional printer, and then you hit Download. And once that's downloaded, it's going to save to your computer, and I'm just going to open up the file to show you what it will look like. Let's open it up. And here is the print ready file. So as you can see, the crop marks are in place. Nothing's going to get cut off. Everything looks great, and this is ready to send to the printer. Okay, now one more thing. If you want to multi-purpose this, just remove that. If you want to multi-purpose this is a great way to multi-purpose these templates. You can actually save this as an image file or PNG file, it's higher quality, and then download. And now what you have is an image file ready to use on social media. So you can actually multi-purpose this and save this and put it on social media as well. So it's a great way to get more bang for your buck. And that's it. I hope that this was helpful, and if you need any more help, please head over to 4thstreetcreative.com/tutorials for our full resource library, and happy designing!